What's up guys? It's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel and happy Artsy Fartsy Friday. Today's video is going to be my first story time video. Never done one of these before, so we're gonna test drive it and see how it goes. This is gonna be a story about my weird art class. But before we get started into the story, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what is happening on screen. So, I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I stumbled across this selfie from this profile that I follow. And this girl and I, we actually grew up in the same hometown, but we went to different high schools, but like I always knew who she was. Anyway, she's a super talented musician and basically a selfie queen. As you can see, I will put her picture up so you can see kind of the side by side. So when I saw this picture, I really wanted to paint it. I love the contrast of the reds and the blues, and I thought it would be a really good excuse to practice some color studies with watercolor. So I'm working in this watercolor sketchbook that I have. I kind of reserved this just for studies and kind of messing around in, so that is what I did. And there you have it. So if you want to check out her profile, I will have it linked down below. But let's get into the story. So this isn't going to be like a drama exposing story or anything, but it's just kind of a recollection of this one weird art class I took. So let's get into it. So during my senior year of high school, we had the option of taking college courses at the local community college. And at this time, I was still kind of unsure about whether or not I wanted to pursue art as a career, whether I wanted to go into something like illustration or animation. So basically, I thought it would be a good idea to just take some of these basic drawing classes to kind of test drive them and also to get them out of the way. And also, it was an excuse to go off campus for part of the day, which I really needed my senior year of high school. Let's be honest, the senioritis was real. So I signed up for a Drawing 1 course. It was like twice a week, and then each of the classes was like 3 hours long, which is pretty lengthy, but also that's kind of standard for a college art class. So the first day of class, I show up, and it was pretty much an even split of people who were like high school dropouts going through the college GED program and like senior citizens that retired and are now just taking classes to fill the time. And then there was people like me who were just kind of there for no reason. So those are the kinds of people that take community art classes. You kind of have all walks of life, I suppose. And I remember the first day sitting next to this student in the class named Dee. And she was really nice, but she talked a lot about like mud bogging and drag racing, and not like RuPaul's drag racing, but like with cars and stuff. And she liked to talk a lot, and she's the kind of person that like didn't care if you were listening. She just kind of like kept talking, and like even when the teacher would be talking, she would just keep talking about like cars and trucks, and like she was, like I said, she was really nice, but I never sat next to her again because like it was really anxiety provoking to like have somebody keep talking when they're not supposed to be talking, and like they're not picking up on like the cues to like stop talking. So even though she was really nice, I always sat like across the room from her, and like I was just like waved to her and was like, "Hi, I'm gonna go sit in my corner now." But that also reminds me, the teacher. The teacher in this class was this really tiny, petite woman, and she was maybe about like 4'10", maybe even smaller. She was really, really tiny, really short, and she was older, maybe in her 50s or 60s, and she wasn't mean or anything, but she wasn't exactly what I would describe as like warm or cuddly or particularly like friendly. I think she got on well with the older classmates that were kind of more in her age group because she had like a better rapport with them. But also when it came to like the high schoolers and the people that were my age that were like getting ready to graduate high school, she had less of a rapport, less bedside manner, I suppose. And it wasn't long into the class before she kind of started telling us about the kind of art that she does and the stuff that she likes to do. And that is when she told us that she likes to collect dead birds and store them in a freezer to paint them. And everybody in the class was like, what? I'm sorry. What? Like, personally, I've always had this, like, really weird fear of birds and, like, bird-related diseases, like, hashtag bird flu 2006, never forget. It really creeped me out that somebody would go out of their way to pick up a dead bird carcass and bring it into their home and, like, store it for later use. Like, if dead birds are your thing, fine, but, like, take a picture, you know? I don't know. It was always just very interesting to me that somebody would do that. And if you guys have seen the Netflix show Dark, it's kind of like German Stranger Things kind of vibes. There's actually a character in that show that basically does this exact same thing, and that kind of jogged my memory of this teacher and this entire class, because I'm pretty sure prior to this I had tried to completely block it out. Anyway, Dark's a good show. If you want to watch it, I highly recommend it. But yeah, so that kind of paints the picture of the teacher for this class. And for those of you who are kind of unfamiliar with basic drawing classes, I will paint you a picture of them, if you will. So in Drawing 1 classes, you do a lot of still life drawing. And I mean, like, a lot of drawing a box on top of a sheet with one light source, or just weird shit like that. Like, you draw, like, a lot of weird vases and a lot of weird shapes, and, like, you try and, you know, it's a lot about trying to draw what's in front of you and not how you picture it in your mind. So it's a lot of, like, training your hand to do what you see. So it's a lot of kind of honing in on those skills, and it's a good skill to have. We had to draw on a lot of charcoal, and I really hated charcoal. I hated it. It makes my skin feel dry. It's kind of like that nails on a chalkboard sensation all over for me. So, that was awful. But we did, like, a lot of perspective studies too, blind contour drawings, continuous contour drawings, and looking back on it, I do think it was a really well-rounded class, and I think I learned a lot from it, probably. I still have a lot of the old assignments from that class, and I posted a video about that. It's an old video, though. I don't know if it's still up. If it is, I'll link it down below, but you can kind of see some of my projects from this class. Anyway, during the second half of the semester, we each had to choose an object that would kind of serve as our theme for the remaining illustrations for the rest of the year. And I chose a sock monkey. Why? I don't know. It was cute and also kind of creepy in a way, because it just had this, like, limp, lifeless demeanor that I very much related to in high school. And so yeah, I don't know. I had to, like, bring this sock monkey with me to class every single day and prop it up in kind of a weird position or pose and draw that. I'll insert some pictures here so you can kind of see what my setup looked like. And at the end of the semester, we would get to participate in this art exhibition with all of the other art classes and other art students. So finally, after several drawings with the sock monkey, we reached the end of the semester, and it's time to pick the pieces from the class that are going to be in the art exhibition. Now, we had a lot of students. We couldn't just submit every single piece of artwork or even one piece from every student in the class. So I'm pretty sure we could only pick like 10 pieces out of the entire class, and how we did it was everybody picked like their top 2 illustrations and we pinned them on the wall, and then we got like, I think, 3 stickers to vote like for which pieces we thought were best. So you could vote for like your 2 illustrations plus one other person's, and then whoever's pieces had the most stickers at the end would get to go into the art exhibition. So I think we could pick, like I said, like 10 pieces from the entire class. And once we kind of went through the whole voting process, both of the pieces that I submitted had the highest like stickers, so both of them were going to be eligible to be in the exhibition, which was super awesome, right? Except my art teacher did not like the idea that two of the pieces were from one student, so she told me I could only pick one and then picked another person's piece instead, which is like fine, but she kind of made the argument like it wasn't fair that I got two pieces and everybody else didn't. But I was like, they voted for it. You know, so it's just always kind of weird to me that like I didn't feel that bitter about it, but I almost felt like she did feel a little bit bitter about it. Like she didn't want one of the youngest students in the class to have both pieces in the art show. So anyway, these were the two pictures that I had put up for voting, and I ended up picking this one, the lovely sock monkey with a camera for a face that I titled Big Brother, because I thought it was like creepy and weird and dark and like teen angst, you know? So yeah, I always kind of just felt a little bit weird about it, like maybe that art teacher didn't like me, or she didn't want me to succeed in some way. And I know that that's obviously looking into it probably too much, because I'm sure that's not how she saw it at all. But I always just kind of thought it was weird to have sort of a democratic voting system where everybody in the class could vote for which pieces were going to be submitted, and then the teacher could just be like, oh, just kidding, no, that's not how this works, and she could kind of overrule it. But anyway, when it came time for the art exhibition, my sock monkey piece was up there, and it was up there for like a few months, and then, you know, I went on to graduate high school, and I was enjoying my summer before college, and they called me when the exhibition was over to come pick up my art piece. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I didn't live far from the community college. It was like maybe 10 minutes away. It was a easy drive. But I just never went to go pick it up. I just left my piece there, and they called me a couple of times, like after I was already in college, and I thought about like asking my dad to go pick it up or something, but then I was just like, no, I don't care. I don't care what happens to this dinky, horrible charcoal illustration that I made during this one basic drawing class. So I literally just never went to pick it up, and I don't know what they ever did with it. Maybe they threw it away. Maybe it's still haunting some classroom there, or in some warehouse somewhere. I don't know. I don't think about it very often, especially because I certainly wouldn't have wanted to hang that up in my house. So yeah, anyway, I ultimately did not end up pursuing pretty much in college. Only experience with a college level art class. And I wouldn't say it deterred me from pursuing art in college, but it didn't excite me about pursuing art in college. And I have several reasons for why I ended up choosing the mental health field over going to an art school or even just pursuing an art degree in college. And I can get into that in future videos if you would like me to talk more about it. I have nothing against art schools or pursuing an art degree. A lot of people in my family have art degrees. So, yeah, but I can talk a little bit more about that in future videos if you guys want. That is pretty much the end of this story time. I don't know if it was good or not good. Let me know how I can like improve on these videos and what you guys want to see. I have a couple of other story times I've thought about telling too, like my high school art classes, or the first independent art show that I ever did, or how I started selling my artwork at the age of 8. I have a couple of other kind of fun story times that I could share with you guys if you are all interested. Comment down below and let me know. And thumbs up the video if you liked it, and subscribe. I do videos every single Friday, so I'd love if you would come back and hang out with me next week for my next Artsy Fartsy Friday video. But until then, guys, have a great weekend, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye!